I started out in the mining sector as a consultant. I worked for Deloitte Consulting back in 1998, and my first client was Rio Tinto. My experience in Rio Tinto and the mining industry has been broad-ranging from functional roles and business improvement roles, where I started off, through a large-scale construction project, greenfield project, one of the first for Rio for some time at Oyu Tolgoi in Mongolia, which was amazing. I spent 5 years up there. I've worked across a small amount of time in the coal business, and now in iron ore for the last nearly 4 years. So I've been working with CME as Rio Tinto's representative to the chamber for nearly 4 years now, and seen just how effective and how important that role that CME plays across the state is, both in bringing the industry players together and supporting them, helping them to collaborate effectively, but also in terms of the interface with key stakeholders like the government, managing the changes and the issues and challenges that come up through the industry and elsewhere, and helping to coordinate all that. The Chamber's done a fantastic job now through a number of big challenges in the last few years that I've seen, and it's been a great experience for me to be involved. And so look, stepping up to take a role as a president's a great privilege, a great honour, something that I'm excited about, and hopefully I can make a real impact. CME as an industry organisation brings together, in this case, the resources industry, such an important part of our state economy and our national economy, and brings the individual companies together to learn from each other, to collaborate, and to focus on the overall strategy that's been defined by the CME. It focuses around 3 C's: competitiveness, capability, and contribution. And each of those you can think about from both the industry's perspective and from the broader state's perspective. So take competitiveness, for example. What we really want to see is that each of the industry players are as competitive as they can be, really thinking about what they can do to drive productivity. We talk a lot about automation in the current world, and technology and the application of technology. How can they bring that to bear, learn and build develop capability here in Western Australia that they can leverage for their businesses. On the other hand, competitiveness is also relevant for West Australia. How do we make sure this jurisdiction is well set up for rapid approvals, really competitive business, and we can then face off and compete against other jurisdictions elsewhere in the world and be the preeminent industry, resources industry jurisdiction out there. On contribution, so again, that's another aspect you can look at from both perspectives. How does the industry contribute back into the state and into the national economy, to the local communities that we work with, whether that be in our role in safety, in environment, other impacts that we have, and equally, what's the contribution that we can draw on from what's going on with infrastructure and other development across the state. Well, obviously with COVID-19 right now, that is really quite, as you said, unprecedented. It's something that no one's really had experience dealing with before. And if you look at the role that CME's played recently in helping to draw the industry together, provide a basis for collaboration for us to learn from each other and build on each other's experience, it's been incredible. And the progress that the resources industry here in WA has made is second to none. It's absolutely incredible to see just how quickly the industry has adapted and managed through this, and has done such a good job. I think the state government's provided a fantastic platform or basis for that. They've made some incredibly good decisions right the way along, and right now we stand here in quite a good position, looking forward with, I think, a lot more confidence in our ability to manage this challenge looking forward, knowing full well that we don't know when it'll end, and we don't know how the whole game or the process will play out. What we need to do is be vigilant, work well together to protect the state, all of the communities and people, families that support our business, and obviously the continuity of our business as well. So look, the resources sector is one of those industries that's been given the great privilege and support from both the national and the state government to continue operating at this time. And naturally it's a massive contributor to the economy. It brings in a lot of export dollars, which is really helpful. But I think more importantly, not just the direct employment, but all of the multiplier effect that it generates through the suppliers and the suppliers to the suppliers, so on, right across the broader economy, is so important. And I think that's very well recognised in Western Australia. It is something that CME's been doing some work in the recent times, and I think we'll do more looking forward to help people understand the contribution that the resources industry does bring. I think it's very much felt right now at a time when there's so much pressure across the state economy, but making sure that everyone appreciates how important it is looking forward. There are other challenges though that I think don't go away, and clearly climate change is a big one. So that's out there and something that we're all working through in different ways. Again, CME is helping to share the thinking across the industry there and make sure that we're coordinated to the extent we can be in our response to climate change as we learn more and develop our thinking on that front. And then I think the economy as well is the third big challenge. Globally, the economy is very volatile. There is a lot of change. Obviously, COVID has made that even more pronounced. But even before that, we see the volatility in the global economy affecting our industry, and that drives us to be more competitive, to make sure that the industry and the businesses within it are resilient, are able to perform at the highs and lows right through the cycle and deal with the challenges across the global economy.